Have you ever wanted something so badly, you did everything you could in your power to get it, disregarding the possible consequences? In the play Macbeth by William Shakespeare, the characters have ambition and a strong desire to pursue their goals. This leads to tragedy and a quick downfall. At the beginning of the play, three witches inform Macbeth of the prophecies that determine his fate. One of the prophecies is his crowning as King of Scotland, a role that he is not entitled to possess. Thus, he takes fraudulent measures to obtain it, disregarding the consequences of his actions and the havoc that they create. Macbeth's first plan in order to become king is to kill Duncan, who already bears the crown. He ponders the plan, saying, "I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erlaps itself and falls on the other." Macbeth reaches the conclusion that it is his ambition that motivates him to act rashly and kill Duncan. Macbeth is aware that his actions could have negative results. However, he disregards them throughout the rest of the play, as he would do anything to satisfy his ambition and unabated desire for power. By doing so, he harms anyone who could prevent him from being king. Thus, Banquo, the Thane of Lochaber, and the family of Macduff, who is the Thane of Fife, are all killed. According to Thomas E. Thrasher, Macbeth's unbridled ambition is the root of the play's evil, because he is willing to throw the world into chaos in order to satisfy his personal desires. Macbeth's desire to be king is so important to him that he risks upsetting the balance of nature and the kingdom. He swiftly plans acts of violence in order to get what he wants, and kills anyone who becomes a conflict in his mission to become king. Now, this is a play by the famous William Shakespeare, and in most of his plays, such as Romeo and Juliet and Hamlet, the tragic hero's fatal flaw is ambition. Their strong desire to achieve their goals cause chaos since they are unable to admit to their faults. Thus, they suffer a tragic downfall. So, does Macbeth really think he can get away with his immoral actions? Macbeth's desire to control the kingdom of Scotland ultimately blinds him from seeing the destructive consequences of his ambitious actions, leading to his tragic downfall. In Act 5, Scene 8, Macbeth is ambitious and eager to fight Macduff, after he is told that he should be aware of him. Before entering battle, he says, "Why should I play the Roman fool and die on mine own sword? While I see lives, the gashes do better upon them." To play the Roman fool means to commit suicide using one's own sword. This is considered to be honorable behavior for defeated Roman generals. Macbeth chooses to disregard his defeat, as he still believes he bears the charmed life. Thus, he dies by the sword of Macduff. Although he dies at the end of the play, his downfall begins once he takes action to become king. As Robert R. Watson says, Macbeth's crime is his punishment. To seize the throne, Macbeth must violate the healthy, orderly cycles of nature, and in each case he discovers that he cannot survive without the aspects of nature his ambitions obliged him to shatter. Having murdered sleep, he and his lady endure an endless night of insomnia. Having tried to rob the next human generation of life and inheritance, they die prematurely and childless. The result of his yielding ambition causes him to tragically suffer. However, he is far too blind to see that his own suffering is a result of his relentless decisions. Without realizing, Macbeth causes his own death. Although I do not agree with Macbeth's actions in the play, I can understand how he feels and why his ambition fuels him to achieve his goals. I remember a time in my life where I had a strong desire to achieve something, just as Macbeth had. When I was in elementary school, I had a lot of trouble with math. I never got good grades, and I struggled to understand the subject. In grade 8, I decided to improve my math skills and work harder to understand the subject. Throughout high school, I worked really hard, and I got even better grades than I did before. This shows my ability to have ambition, as I did not give up even if there were times where I wanted to. The difference between us is that Macbeth did not think about the consequences of his actions. I did, and that's how I achieved my goal. There's a quote that says, "Intelligence without ambition is like a bird without wings." While I do agree with this quote, I actually think that it could be the other way around too. Ambition without intelligence is like a bird without wings. Why? Because when one acts on ambition without thinking their plans through, there could be major consequences. This is exhibited in the play through Macbeth's ambitious actions, which led him and his kingdom to a tragic downfall. Thank you for your attention.